We have DRX against PRX playoffs. Something is not here, and instead we have Cigarettes filling in on this map. He's playing the Sky, pretty much a Gecko main for the majority of his time. I think that PRX's approach to this whole game was just incredible. As we see here, just an instant sight hit that happened all the time. Double duelist comp makes a lot of sense, and they just put cigars in the wolf pack all the time. I love this pistol, love the reaction once they got the plant, and they just group up towards here. They get a good plant down, and then they just decide to get Heaven control, duel over towards Heaven, and Astra is like the security policy with the Astra suck, and also just playing late with a good plant. So I love this from them. Thought it was a very good round. Interesting to see the DRX actually push down middle. They're a team that like to do this. We used to like doing this in Liquid, where you would do a pistol round, and it would be something that you're not normally going to do in the rest of the half, just to kind of make the opponent team think that you might push middle, but actually you're not going to. I actually would have liked to have seen them be more aggressive towards middle in this game. We just didn't see it. This is another example of what their kind of game plan was. Bit of a messed up flash from Cigarettes, but this was pretty much how the game went. There was a lot of B hits, and that makes a lot of sense because obviously Astra over towards B, a lot of the time this is the weakest sites. We saw stuff like that where it was just individuals holding the site down, and pretty much DRX got off to a good start. They got 3 rounds, 3-2. They lost the pistol, obviously, managed to shut down the fast hits, and they were playing people more towards sites, right? It was going well, playing people more towards sites. Then a pause happened, and then this crazy round occurred. They took Heaven control instead of going over towards sites in terms of PRX, and then they decided to go all the way through spawn. You see the timings on the lurk over towards middle, the overwhelms were here, and I just love the adjustment. I think the coach did really, really well. Like, I thought this plan was just perfect to actually kind of change the pace of it. And also, a bit like the theory of DRX's pistol, right? You throw one of these rounds in, then they have to worry about everywhere else. They threw this heavy play over towards Heaven, then just went back to their normal sight hits. So I liked it a lot. I thought the game plan from PRX again was just really, really smart. Just all the time hitting over towards sites. As you can see here, the overwhelm was just constant. They had some lurks in as well to secure it with the Astra, kind of like the Astra in this one. And yeah, just a good example of what was going on. Game plan again, just Cigarettes not feeling super comfortable on the Sky, but just being with the pack and just enabling the duelists. And that literally was what it was. Like, the duelists got enabled into this. There was a couple of... We kind of had a bit of a raise-off at one point. Buzz was doing great. Jing was doing great. The whole raise-off was actually pretty consistent throughout the whole two of the maps that we saw. So yeah, I thought it was cool to kind of just see the simple game plan. And if I'm being pretty critical, DRX took a long time to adapt. And I think that's a bit similar to their playstyle. Obviously, they don't like going aggro. They kind of had the Sky on the outskirts to get information, and a lot of the time, it didn't really make too much sense because they just 5-person hit. We had crazy stuff like this from Jing. Also to note, the entry towards Heaven, they actually had the Jet do this kind of pathing over towards Heaven to secure this no matter what as well. So they had some nice hits sprinkled in here as well. And yeah, it just carried on happening all the time. Just sight hits going in, entries like this. The duelists just really stepping up every single time. They were just getting the fast kills. Forsaken and Jing just really stepped up. It was... yeah, it was like watching old PRX. It was outrageous. It was really good, and like I'm saying, just simple game plan. Just making use of Cigarettes, keeping him in the pack, and he didn't really have to do too much. It was just enabling the players. Just make sure your utility is good, and you don't have to frag out. Just get him comfortable to being on the stage. We then went over towards swap halves. And this is where you just saw Jing and Mindfreak kind of just stepping up as well. I was just very impressed with just how Jing reactively plays in a lot of these rounds. DRX actually adding in some fast plays. I thought it was nice to see. They had some good stuff with the Neon, some good stuns, some good fast strats. But just the individual skill of Jing really shined for me in this game. I thought it was great. This round was a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy for sure. So let's just play it out. I'm so glad that the crowd didn't give this one away. I was really, really nervous for this. When they actually got this, I kind of thought there was a chance. RB honestly played pretty well. 15 seconds on this. This was the kind of rounds that you were seeing where they were maybe exploiting. Cigarettes maybe could have played this one a little bit better. When they got into like the 1v1s in this map, you could kind of tell that he wasn't super experienced or maybe not comfortable on the sky. I think was the main thing that I would take away. This was a huge 3-on-2. Something that I liked a lot from PRX was they did what DRX weren't doing. They were very proactive on their defense. Got to like 50-second mark, and all the time they were just flanking behind, getting a lot of map control, and it felt like this is what DRX needed to do on their first half. Yeah, Devi and Mindfreak really stepping up. Great rounds from them. And yeah, I just thought, in terms of the overall macro of how they approached this, it was just so much better. Every single time they had map control meant that they could stack people over towards these sites. They were winning a lot of the big rounds, right? We saw a 3v2 from them earlier. You go into this one, big 1v2, Mindfreak stepping up once again. And they just kind of looked like the old PRX, just with a little bit less firepower, a little bit less craziness, but just a unit all the time, and the individuals stepping up. DRX, I was disappointed with DRX, I'll be honest. In terms of this being their map pick, I thought they were slow to adapt. I really did. I thought they felt like they had the right, they had everything they needed to make it doable, right? They had the sky to get information, but they just played the sky on the outskirts and just, I don't know. Honestly, they just got a little bit outplayed. Jing was just outrageous the whole time, and it felt like we didn't have many standouts from DRX. In terms of individuals, it did feel like there was a bit of an individual diff, especially when you look at the fast kills. That was the most thing that stuck out to me. We have 7-1 for Jing as well, putting up 26-17 with 7-1 fast kills, like crazy numbers. Definitely want to highlight Cigarettes, but more not going on to the actual kills and deaths, more just 15 assists, like we were saying, enabling and just making sure they could get these fast kills with the Wolfpack flashes. Dog was really good, and yeah, I thought his util was great to actually, you could tell basically this was like a fast fix, and this is where we got to shout out Alex. Like, this was a fast fix, and you could tell that they hadn't really played this map, and it was just, right, this is a big win condition, let's get as many as we can on the attack, and we just stick together. DRX did good at the beginning, like I said, with just holding over towards the double sites, and then they kind of got in their head from that one eco round, and then it just fell apart. They weren't proactive on their defense. They were heavy stacking over towards heaven. Sites were open, and the retakes just weren't good enough. So yeah, impressive, very impressive map from PRX. Then we get into their map pick, a map that DRX has been struggling on anyway. We're seeing a lot of this from PRX, super proactive again. The most TP usage we've seen. We actually had Cigarettes on his Gecko, and he was, just this pistol round is a great summary of just how good he played here. He was just very, very comfortable. Gets the first 2 entries, insta crunching towards showers. And yeah, just great overwhelm, just great utility from him. His information on the defense all the time was great. Started off with 3 kills, got his all out really early on. That kind of gave him a big, didn't give him a big advantage into the 3rd round. They actually lost it, but they did a lot of damage that meant that this was a really important round in terms of the economy. So yeah, this was a huge round. This is what I loved. So this looks a little bit mad. When I watched this at the beginning, I was like, damn, this is crazy. But I watched it again today, and actually just felt like this was incredible. So nade goes in. The nade actually goes out into the open, so that forces them into this little area. Before Jing takes this TP, he throws his cove, and what that does is that instantly opens the door. So he throws his cove, as he's TPing, the door just gets open from this cove, and then it's just instant shots, so they don't get the sound cue, and then they have to turn around, and then the door opens. The door was already open, so he could instantly go in, and he could just shoot them down, and then get into cover. So I thought it was a little bit mad when I saw it, but actually the teamwork on a lot of these rounds were really good, and that gave them yeah, there's just a good amount of stuff like that I saw. This was a big game plan as well, blocking here. Just the amount of times that they used their wall over towards here and then a smoke over towards here to try and make them use the dog early and not give them too much space so that they can actually hit over towards the site. I like this game plan against Razes. I think it's really good. So I like that as well. This was a big raise off that we saw. Buzz did great in that situation. Jing stepping up, doing one better, and just his movement was just outrageous. I loved how dominant he was in both of these maps. He didn't have him in my top 16, and it looks like I'm already regretting it. So yeah, I loved how good he's been playing so far. Then we go over towards this. You're going to see a similar game plan as well, right, with smokes going down over towards this area. And just shows them that you have to use the dog really early. Just for yeah, again, I loved it. And just so much util to stop this. You can see the util from cigarettes as well, which is just great. And DRX really struggled. Once this smoke was coming down early, they just struggled to get over towards the site. They would just split up because of the utility. And yeah, I just thought the game plan of PRX doing that smoke and doing those, just making this choke point a little bit further forward to where everyone else normally does it, really paid off in this one. And DRX struggled with it. That site hit there was just not good. Oh, actually, what I will do is, just at the end of this, cigarettes as well is actually had a really good round. So I just want to, again, I want to highlight him. This was such a big step up from him individually. He played really, really well. Like even in this 2v2, he's got the worst gun. And he's just really just doing bits. They get a double upgrade for this as well. Was great for their economy to try and get them some more rounds into this half. So yeah, very impressed with him. Like I said, utility was great. This was impressive. So cigarettes at the moment, they had all the time been doing a game plan where they get this orb as well on their defense, just wanting to try get him as many ults as they could. DRX caught on to this and they decided to 3-person swing. But PRX on top of this decide to 4-person swing with a stim pack and their utility on top of it. You see the Sky Flash coming in, you see the Dizzy at the top, and just the overwhelm is outrageous. And yeah, just a step ahead on this. Thought this was very good, just playing off the tendencies, realizing that most likely they might be doing this. And even if it didn't pay off, they would just have so much map control. And DRX are a relatively slow-placed team, so yeah, going kind of fast makes a lot of sense against them. When teams play DRX on their defense, they're pretty much, every time I watch a team and they go proactive on their defense against DRX, it really pays off. You saw there as well, just a little bit of raise diff, just strong round to just add that in as well. And then we go over towards this. We're getting 9-9. DRX have done pretty well. And again, another round from cigarettes that was just a big standout for me. This was like a common thing where cigarettes was just getting good util, getting over towards the site, fragging up. Their spam wasn't good, a little bit harder to shoot the wingman, and Jing just stepping up, just pushing all the way through. His util is great, and he's just so confident, but he just made so much space on this one. Gets a trade with his nade and everything. So yeah, another sick round from them. But the main takeaway from a lot of this is just cigarettes, utility, unbelievable, and Jing was just great. Just so many first kills, just sending it in, making the space for the team. We get to 10-10, and they just hit B site all the time. Look at cigarettes in this round as well. I was just so impressed with him on this. You could just tell that he was so comfortable, and it felt like he belonged. Like, he's getting trades like that. His util to enable the double satchel kill over towards site was incredible. And then just another 2-on-2. And he's just getting this kill as well to enable Divide to close this one out. I was very impressed. I thought that, I thought that this was very impressive. Like we said, PRX just hit B site over and over again when it went to 10-10. They just overwhelmed the site all the time. And this is where I'm going to be the most critical for DRX. I was a little bit critical on their defense on split as well, and this felt the same. So we just had 2 rounds in a row where they've hit over towards B site, got into towards the B site, and then for the last round where it's 12-10, they decide to 4-pass and stack over towards A, just expecting PRX to change it up. Maybe it's a strat that they like to do with the Astra ult. I'm not entirely sure, but for me, the calling and the plan on defense and the adaptation just didn't really make much sense on both maps. And yeah, I was just a bit disappointed from them, for sure. I don't know, they're looking a little bit rough, really. One of the just not as confident. I've been talking about on my stream that everyone else just looks a lot better at the moment. Everyone else has improved and they've kind of stayed the same. But I definitely think on their defense, some of their adaptations are relatively slow. So that's my main worry for them at the moment. But Cigarettes, overall, very impressed. Very impressed with him. Jing, above and beyond to make this happen. And yeah, just really enjoyed this game. This is just the main highlight. Like I said his name all the time, and it was just, this is why. 27-17 overall. He went 53 to 34. That's like outrageous. 9-4 in terms of the actual first kills, first deaths. So yeah, very impressed. This had a lot of impact in my mind, the 16 kills that he got. And yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do on other maps, to be honest with you. But yeah, just very impressed with their overall game plan. In terms of DRX, straight up worried for this team. Hopefully they can bounce back. But yeah, I don't know. I think the whole 6-person roster and maybe some of the prep time might be going, might have wrecked them a little bit. Interesting to see as well that they had time to put another change comp in here as well with RB on this. So I don't know how much time, and I don't know where they get this time from, to be honest, to actually manage to do this kind of stuff. But I'm still worried with the end result and maybe them not looking as dominant or as strong as we've seen them in the past. If you like this kind of content, let me know. Should be doing the next summary in a bit as well. Yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.